What's up guys, it's Cody here. And today in this video I wanted to put the $4,000 iMac against my $1,800 custom built PC just to see how well they perform during gaming. Now of course I didn't buy this iMac for gaming. I actually use this for basically everything YouTube. It's where I edit all my videos, use Photoshop, Final Cut Pro, just basically professional applications, but I don't game on this ever. That's actually why I have the Windows PC. This PC was actually built with gaming in mind. And I actually did an entire video on the build and how well it performed, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description. But I'm actually pretty excited to see how a $4,000 brand new 2017 iMac compares to an $1,800 custom PC that I built 2 years ago. But before we get into that, I partnered with LastPass in order to bring you guys this video. So LastPass relieves the struggle of looking for passwords and the anxiety that you get when you get locked out of an account. So with LastPass, you don't have to write anything down, remember, or reset any passwords. They keep track of everything just so you can stay sane. But since you don't have to remember or type in your passwords anymore or answer a million security questions if you do actually forget, that's gonna make it a whole lot easier to use different passwords for each account that you have, which in turn obviously is going to make everything you have online more secure. And so put your passwords on autopilot with LastPass. And it also has a handy little app for your phone, which, let's face it, we're probably on our phones a whole lot more than we are on like a desktop PC. So just to take a quick look at the app, you have basically all your passwords and accounts saved right here. You can add just by tapping the plus in the top right hand corner, and you can tap on these accounts to bring up options of what you'd like to do with that specific account. So if you guys want to check it out for yourself and see if LastPass is something that you'd like to try, then I'll put a link in the description below that you can just click on and see if it's a good fit for you. So this iMac is top of the line in terms of specs, except for the 2TB SSD, which was a $1,400 upgrade. Instead, I purchased the 3TB Fusion drive, and it was only a $100 upgrade. So if you actually max this entire thing out, this would cost $5,300, which again, but you can also save money on these if you just purchase the lowest amount of RAM, which is 8 gigs rather than the 64 gigs, which I did, and I show you guys how to change it out, what RAM to get and all that stuff in a previous video. So if you guys want to do that and save up to over $1,000, and I'll put a link in the description below for that. But all in all, this is a 4.2 gigahertz quad-core i7. It has 64 gigs of RAM, 3TB Fusion drive, and a Radeon Pro 580 with 8 gigs of video memory. Now for my polar build, my custom built PC, I have a liquid cooled i7-4790K, a GTX 980 Ti, along with 32 gigs of RAM and a 500 gigabyte SSD. So $4,000 versus 2-year-old $1,800 custom built PC. Let's see how well these things compete, if they compete at all. Now all the gaming tests that I'm gonna be running are gonna be ran at a 1080p resolution, just because my Windows PC only has a 1080p monitor. So that's the only way to have a level playing field here. But what I also want to do is run this iMac here at 1440p just to see how well it performs. It's not going to be up against the Windows PC in that aspect. I just want to see how well this guy can handle 1440p. Now I didn't have a ton of games in Steam that were Mac compatible, so what I'm going to be running here are Borderlands the pre-sequel, Batman Arkham City, CSGO, and Left 4 Dead 2. So they're not incredibly high demanding games, but we should see how well they perform against each other nonetheless. So let's go ahead and take a look at the results. Alright, so here are the frames per second and the performance that I got out of the iMac versus the custom PC. You'll notice that the custom PC obviously outperformed the iMac in every single game. So Batman, we have 95 frames per second, and then we shot up to 132 on the custom PC. For Borderlands, the pre-sequel, we almost doubled our FPS. Same thing for Left 4 Dead, and CSGO, it was well over double the frames per second from iMac to PC. Now, if you're looking at these frames per second on the iMac, 85 for Borderlands, Batman 95, Left 4 Dead 166, and CSGO at 115, that's not that bad. That's actually a whole lot better than I was anticipating. I was thinking that the iMac just was not going to be able to handle it, not be able to do gaming whatsoever. So actually, I was pleasantly surprised when, I know this sounds ridiculous, but a $4,000 Apple computer can actually play some games and you can have fun and not feel like you're restricted. Now, if we bump up the iMac to 1440p, then these are the numbers that we're gonna get. Now, of course, we're gonna expect to see a hit on all of these games. So with Borderlands, we lost 19 frames per second. Batman, we lost 10. Left 4 Dead, we actually lost quite a bit at 80 frames per second. In CSGO, we lost 28 frames per second. Now again, looking at 1440p, which looks really nice, we still have pretty good frames per second in terms of gaming on an iMac. Now, even with those numbers, would I ever play on this iMac versus my Windows PC? Absolutely not. I mean, I can still upgrade my monitor over there to a 1440p monitor or a 4K monitor, and I'm still gonna get better performance than I'm getting out of this iMac. But if you do buy an iMac to do things like I do on it, like video editing, photo editing, just that type of stuff, I don't think you should feel like it's impossible for you to game on the computer as well. Now, I'm not praising Apple and the iMac and saying like, yay, we can actually finally game on this, because this computer is a $4,000 computer. You should be able to game on it. You should be able to do whatever you want to on it, but it's still gonna be outperformed by a custom built PC at less than half the price 2 years ago. So that tells you how far behind Apple is in the gaming industry. That's just not their market. But I did want to put this video together just to test it out, show you guys. I was really curious myself, and I was pleasantly surprised of how well the iMac did, even though, like I said, the components on this iMac buying from Apple is highway robbery. Definitely save the money where you can when you're buying an iMac. Alright guys, that's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button. I'm also thinking about doing a new MacBook Pro gaming video, so if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, if you want to stay up to date with everything Apple, jailbreak, or anything else tech related that I want to cover, then be sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.